right, good morning, guys. Church is ready to roll. And apparently YouTube has crowned Hugh this morning. I don't know about you. Hugh is our #1 fan in the morning. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in social media world lately. So nice work, Hugh. Good job. Good morning, Kelly and Jenny and Trink and Sherry. Sherry's #2. She's moderator. Look at that. And Patty and Terry and RF. Man, RF's in Utah. I love Utah up there. I love all those areas. And Eleanor from North Carolina. Peggy and Sally and Sandra and Susan and Beth and Havasu. Bonnie Kate's got her coffee. Yeah, I have iced coffee. And Kathy, Carolyn, VetNet is here. VetNet is always here early. Hope VetNet can stay the whole time with us. Mama Z and Bill. Oh, Bill's from Fort Worth. Love Fort Worth. You know what I used we used to go over to the museums in Fort Worth. Man, Fort Worth has got the Western art, all the great museums. Man, that funny. I bet y'all didn't know that Fort Worth was known for its museums. You always think about the stockyards. Fort Worth has got amazing museums. Tad, upstate New York. Yeah, good morning, Minnie, and Diane, and Tina, Mama Kay. Coastal is always with us. Oh, yeah, Coastal's got her daughter on. Awesome. Yeah, some of y'all will put us on your TV screens. Must be like, wow. If we got a big shot at Kipper. I don't know. Kipper went for his walk, so he is snoozing on the other couch. He'll be in if we start talking about the gospel. There is Clay from Ohio, Becky and Lisa, Vivian, Kells from Tejas. Always good to have my friends, brothers, and sisters from Texas. Man, I'm so sorry Texas got hammered. New Mexico got hammered. I heard that DC got hammered. Is that right? That DC got hammered? Yeah, birthday blessings for Emily. There's Jessica and Misha, Myrna, Michelle. Oh, Michelle's in Idaho. I love Idaho. Okay, so I vacationed a couple of times in Idaho, and y'all know I lived in Colorado. I feel like, I don't know. Idaho is like Colorado without all the crazy people. I feel like, I don't know. It's what it feels like to me. I mean, seemed like Colorado's just getting so packed in certain areas. Now, there's certain areas of Colorado that are still nice. If you're not, Colorado's getting so full around that I-25 corridor. It's getting crazy up there too, Misha. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you. I don't know. The whole country's getting crazy. It's getting, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'm really excited about church today. The more excited I had been a long time, because look at that. I made notes on my top 10 list on the back of a receipt, an Office Depot receipt. Jeannie lived in Colorado Springs. Kit Carson. Yeah, I was in Parker. Oh, Diane's in the crazy UK. All of Western civilization gone crazy, Diane. We all gone crazy, so we're all together. It's 70 degrees in North Carolina. Sounds good to me. I've got a friend that's moving to North Carolina. The Carolinas are beautiful. Of course, I went to school in Virginia. I mean, those areas the whole country can be beautiful at the right part of time. Oh, Grand Junction. Rapto, are you in Grand Junction now? Yeah, Grand Junction's gorgeous. I used to drive as we called it, over the hill. Yeah, I used to drive out to, oh, and Leslie's in Montana. What do you say about Montana? Montana's like God's country up there. River Runs Through It was my favorite movie in 1992. River Runs Through It. Yeah, man. But okay, it's 80 in Michigan. Michigan's gorgeous in the summer, man. Oh, going paddleboarding. That's awesome, dude. Look at that. RF has still got the crown. How about that? Yeah, big sky country, man. Keegs. Keegs is on with us. Y'all know Keegan Fernandez. He's like the watchman to the watchmen and women. 7 prophetic fulfillment on the brink of fulfillment. Rapture's on the brink. 83 multi-front war. And Jeremiah 49. I think so, brother. I think we're going over the Chooch list, as I call it. And Chooch has, well, I'm certain he's got a bunch of Keegs. Keegs always keeps a top 10 or top 15. You need to go to Chooch's website, or to Keeg's website. Keegs, please put your website in the chat so people can check that out. Keegs, yeah. So Keegs, okay, you're like it's the part where Barry digresses. Did I see this right? That they have it down to 1 red heifer, guys? That Israel has it down to 1 red heifer ready to sacrifice? Is that right, Keegs? Did I see this correctly? I literally was getting ready I had a really busy, yeah, we need to be, yeah, is that right, RF? They have it down to 1 red heifer ready to sacrifice. And I think they have more than 1 that is prepared. Is that right, Keegs? 1 red heifer ready to sacrifice to prepare, to consecrate, as they would call it, the temple. And also this last week, I mean, you want to talk about prophetic, how close we are. 1 red heifer, and yes, RF, they practiced the sacrifice. So they actually lit a sacrificial mound. And yes, Susan, they practiced lighting fire to a sacrificial mound. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And yes, pray for JD Farag's daughter, Kelly. This is the last note that I got on her. Wait a minute. What did you see? Oh, I can't find it in the text stream. Can you guys share what's going on with Kelly? Oh, his wife. Sorry. But what's going on? Can you post? It's not good. It's not good news. I just, sorry, I can't. Okay. Cancer has spread to her spinal cord. Here it is. And will require 2 surgeries over the next 4 days. Not good. We need to be in prayer for Kelly. Be in prayer for Kelly. As our Kelly says, cancer has spread to her spinal cord and require 2 surgeries over the next 4 days. So just be in prayer for Kelly Farag. Yeah. Be in prayer for Kelly Farag, for sure. Yeah, and be in prayer for the families of those that died in Texas, and for those that passed in New Mexico, and the ongoing devastation and some of the difficulties in DC. I mean, goodness, folks, it just, okay, and Keegs is posting here, red heifer sacrifice dates the 9th of Av, which would be the 2nd of August, or the Feast of Tabernacles, October 6th. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Guys, read Keegs' chat. Keegan Fernandez. Red heifer sacrifice dates the 9th of Av, August 2nd, 2025, or Feast of Tabernacles, October 6th. And y'all, my gosh, folks. Guys, Bro Keeks doesn't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. He's posting it again in the chat. And then y'all know what the 9th of Av is. Y'all know what the 9th of Av is. All right. It's new wine. I mean, it just, oh my goodness. What in the world is going on here? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. The Lord is speaking and speaking. Abba up. Yeah, Abba up. That's what I'm saying. And for those that don't know Abba up or don't remember, that was the kid, the little 2-year-old kid in his crib kept looking up in the corner and was taught, and he was like, Jesus King, Abba up. And he kept saying, Abba up. This was like 7 or 8 years ago in the little video. God has been speaking like he has been beating on the front door of our house for like, what, 12 or 15 years now? It's been a long time. And yes, the UN meeting calling for peace and security on new wine, August 2nd or August 3rd of it. Fulfilling 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 3, when they say peace and security, sudden destruction comes on them. I'm with you, Keegs. New wine rapture. I mean, you're right, Diane. It's a little overwhelming. It is a little overwhelming. So it's a little overwhelming. And frankly, Keeks knows this. You all know this. It's been a little overwhelming. I think, in my opinion, it's been a little overwhelming. It started heating up around 2017. You're like, has it been overwhelming for 8 years? It's been a little overwhelming for, I don't know how long. How long? 5 years? 4 years, Keegs? Like, oh yeah, and then the two-state solution UN meeting on July 28th. It's getting, and it's like, okay, you can look at the news events, but I would challenge you to think about this. Especially as y'all are all prophecy watchers at this point. My prayer is, and Keeg's prayer is, first and foremost, is that you're believers. John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Okay, right? That's more important than prophecy, more important than anything that we would discuss today. That's the main thing that we would discuss. Yeah, Dorian says since 2020. Yeah, kind of since the COVID really started moving things into overdrive. But in the midst of all of this goings on, there are news events, but there are news events that overlay with prophetic verses in Scripture. That to me has become at times overwhelming to process, because, for example, when the UN puts a date on for a peace and security conference, which already overlays with something that we're looking at potentially for the rapture of the church, which also overlays with 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 3. And then Rhonda also, as she notes, Jesus told us to watch in the middle of wars and rumors of wars, in the middle of signs and wonders on the earth below, fulfilling Acts 2:17-21, in the middle of dreams and visions, in the middle of, all of this goings on in the news around, alien encounters and potential incoming asteroids. I mean, and the red heifer standing up and the final red heifer being found. I mean, all of which is biblical. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. So what do? We do what Bonnie Kate says, Mark 13, verse 37. And what I say to you, I say to all, watch. And then we occupy and redeem the time, which our church is all about. We study and we read scripture. We pray on Wednesday nights, and we share Christ. Because the goal of all this, it gets really, really exciting. The goal is not to run around and dig a hole in the front yard and put on a tinfoil hat. We share Christ, because people get really, really excited. Well, what are we excited about? As Rapto Second says, Christ is our comfort. Okay, so for today, I almost get so excited. I'm like, okay, where are we going? What are we talking about in church today? To talk about two things. We're talking, interestingly, we're going to study the book of Jonah chapter 2, and amazingly, Jonah chapter 1 already gets into the meat of the book. So interesting that we're talking about Jonah, right? Because Jonah is a parallel to Christ, because Christ died, was in a tomb for 3 days, and then rose again. Interesting. What else about Jonah parallels to these very 10 that Bro Chooch was talking about? I wonder. Well, the eclipses. And I'll get to that. That's why it's important to have a good study Bible. Get yourself a good study Bible. There was an eclipse that passed over Nineveh before Jonah preached. Very interesting, isn't that? Which leads a lot of people to believe that's why Nineveh converted, because they saw not only the eclipse pass over Nineveh, but they saw Jonah approach, and Jonah was covered, because he was covered in the acids of the fish's stomach for those 3 days. He had severe malformations and discolorations of his skin. So when you see pictures of folks that have those pigmentation malformations of their skin, that's likely what Jonah looked like. So if you had a huge solar eclipse that lasted a lot longer than normal over your city, and then a man walks in tatters to your city from the beach, and he is malformed, okay, and he's remember, they're Arabic, so they're not Caucasian, right? They're Arabic, so they're part black skinned, they're part white skinned, okay? He has these malformations all over his skin, and his robe and his clothes are tattered. And he comes in and he's preaching about this God that you have nothing to know. You're thinking, what in the world is going on? You might listen to that guy. You might think, what is wrong with him? What's going on with his skin, his body, his clothes? And it comes a couple of days after the solar eclipse. Who sent this person? Well, what's going on in our world right now? Well, there's a lot of watchmen and women. You're at Christmas and at Thanksgiving, and you're at birthday parties, and they're like, what's going on with Cindy and Tanya and Child of God and Light in the Darkness, and like, what's getting into them? And we're having these solar eclipse. We just had this solar eclipse, and the country's getting all weird, and there's floods going on and killing people, and Cindy's talking all weird, and people are talking about the rapture, and like, what? It's no different than Jonah, folks. It's no different than Jonah. There's no difference in the word that you're bringing to people in America, then what's going on right here? So think about that. Except, well, I'll give the big except, Nineveh repented. Nineveh repented. America's not repenting. It's sad, right? It's sad. So let's go to Jonah. Get your Bible out. Get your real physical hard copy Bible, if you can, with me. I hope you can. Hope you have a real physical hard copy. Invest in a real physical hard copy Bible. If you can't, get the app that I would recommend is Bible Gateway. Bible Gateway. Here's a Bible Gateway. That's what Bible Gateway looks like. Can you all see that? There's a Bible Gateway. Ooh, I've got it opened up into Daniel right now. Can you all see Bible Gateway? There you go. That's what Bible Gateway kind of looks like. See there? I don't pay for it, but then, I don't know, it sends me ads for like, my wife was looking at a mattress, man, and we get 1 million ads for mattresses. We've been looking for the best deal on a mattress for like 6 months, and then just keeps spamming me but I'm not paying for Bible Gateway. Y'all know how it works. And then anyway, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so Daniel, go with me to Daniel, because what we're due here is we want to pray on Wednesday nights. We want to study scripture, and we want to share Christ. We decrease so Christ can increase. Because they go to a party and they're like, why is Tanya always talking about the rapture? Why is Tanya talking about Jesus? That seems weird to me. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Why doesn't she talk about normal stuff like, you know, sports or the NBA or like, you know, investments or her money or whatever? And she's like, I don't have time for that. I got to talk about Jesus because he's coming really soon. And then people think she's like a Jonah because it's really weird. She's not like them. She looks different and she talks different. And then we just had these 2 solar eclipses pass over our country a couple of years, last year, and then in 2017. And then they're like, these floods are different. I just saw a guy post yesterday. He's like, what happened to normal thunderstorms? It's a good question. Why do thunderstorms, and people are like, oh, it just happened in 1987. No, it didn't. That Guadalupe thunderstorm, that thunderstorm that hit Texas was nothing like the thunderstorm. I lived in Texas in 1987, and that thunderstorm that killed those kids that just came through Texas in that river valley was nothing like the one in 1987. That thing was devastating. Have y'all seen the video? That thing hit and demolished everybody in like 15 minutes, and it wiped everybody out. Everybody out. Unbelievable. Yeah, Christine, I was saying that. So, Big Beautiful Bill. I was just thinking about that. Why is it BBB, just like Build Back Better? It's 2 sides of the same doggone coin. And we knew this all along. Goodness. Yeah, cloud seeding, Jenny. But here's the thing. I don't know if it's cloud seeding or not, but I'll tell you what it is. Y'all go watch my video from yesterday. You start messing with the Lord and you start meeting with Israel and saying you're going to split the state of Israel. It did, Tanya. I saw that. In water level rise, it came close to Katrina. Well, what happened after George Bush Jr. even mentioned to the Prime Minister of Israel, and it was the guy, Not Ben Gurion, but it was the guy that was the longtime prime minister. It wasn't Netanyahu, but it was before him. Bush Jr. even mentioned the two-state, and Katrina just wiped out Louisiana. Just wiped out New Orleans. He just mentioned it. You don't mess around with touching Israel. You don't. Yeah, and Jenny, however it happened, you don't mess around with touching Israel. Okay, let's get to Jonah, verse 2. Isn't it interesting that stuff is flooding and we're talking about Jonah? Let's go to Jonah chapter 2. Jonah chapter 2. Go to Jonah chapter 2 and then pull it up on Bible Gateway. Bible Gateway. Jonah chapter 2. So let's remember, in chapter 1, the Lord appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the stomach of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. So Jonah is in the fish. Jonah chapter 2, verse 1, then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the stomach of the fish. And he said, and how many of us are there? How many of us can get in the stomach of the fish? So we say, remember we talked about in chapter 1, the Lord tells us to do something. And when the Lord tells us to do something very specific, I told you about that. I told you there were 8 or 9 times, maybe 10 times in my life that the Lord specifically told me to do something. When the Lord specifically tells you to do something, Christian, you better do it. Because there's not many times that he specifically tells you to do something. Now I'm talking specifically. There are times that the Lord will lay something on your heart, okay? He'll give you urgings that you should and recommend. Okay, I told you all about the times the Lord specifically, right? Remember? The Lord specifically told me to go witness to the guy. There you go, Cheryl. The Lord specifically told me to go witness to the guy at the Starbucks. Remember? Go watch my video. The Lord specifically told me to witness to a guy when I was 12 years old while I was on a horseback ride in Colorado. The Lord specifically told me to get off an elliptical while I was working out and go call a random guy. I had to track him down and encourage him. I still don't even remember how I tracked him down and say, the Lord wanted me to call you and encourage him. And the dude broke down in tears, and he was running a prison ministry. And he goes, oh my gosh, I don't know how you got me, but I was just getting ready to leave this prison ministry. Okay. When the Lord tells you to do something, just drop everything and do it. Why? Because if you don't, he's going to put you in the belly of a fish. That's what he's going to do. Okay? Just do it. You remember that, Kelly? Just do it. I'm telling you, because he will chase you down. Yeah, look at Candy. I've been stopped in my tracks and went back to fix a situation with my then, and we're married almost 19 years. See? Have 5 kids, still working on them. Okay, see, the Lord will hound you. He will hound you, man. There you go, Kelly. He will chase you down. So, but I'm talking specifically, this isn't going to happen 100 times in your life. I'm just telling you, I've been a believer for going on 50 years, at least in my experience. Yeah, Rhonda says, I'm 72. I said I'd never fly. The Lord told me to get on a plane June 10th, go see my son and brother. I obeyed and went. Still don't know what. See, sometimes it can be to plant a seed. Okay, we don't even know why. There's just not all the times that we know. There you go, Rima. He leaves the 99 to rescue me. So then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the stomach of the fish. He's like, I messed up, man. I messed up. I shouldn't have done it. He said, I called out of my distress to the Lord, and he answered me. I cried for help from the depth of Sheol. So he's clearly conscious in the fish. So for those like, well, you're really going to fish. He didn't really. Yes, he did, because he's praying from the belly of the fish. So for those, they're like, well, it wasn't really a fish. Yes, it was. He wasn't really conscious. Yes, he was. He's praying from the fish here, folks. I called out of my distress to the Lord, and he answered me. I cried for help from the depth of Sheol. Thou didst hear my voice, for thou hadst cast me into the deep, into the heart of the sea, and the current engulfed me. All thy breakers and billows passed over me. So I said, I have been expelled from thy sight. Nevertheless, I will look again toward thy holy temple. Verse 5, water encompassed me to the point of death. The great deep engulfed me. Weeds were wrapped around my head. He's even describing how everything wrapped him up. Now, some people said, well, he might have gone unconscious. We don't know. Sure, he might have gotten swallowed up and unconscious. I descended to the roots of the mountains. The earth with its bars was around me forever. Sure, he might be describing going unconscious here. But thou hast brought my life up from the pit, O Lord my God. While I was fainting away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to thee into thy holy temple. Those who regard vain idols forsake their faithfulness, but I will sacrifice to thee with the voice of thanksgiving. That which I have vowed, I will pay. Salvation is from the Lord. Yet he knows that the Lord saved his rear. Then, so he's praying that prayer in the belly of the fish. So he's conscious in the fish, thinking, man. So a lot of people believe, me included, yeah, bars, ribs of the fish, excellent RF. So he's thinking, man, I went unconscious. If I hadn't have made it into the belly of the fish, and a lot of people are talking about this was there's a lot of people talking about the type of fish that has an air pocket within it, right? And he's realizing, man, I've got this seaweed wrapped around my head. There's no way I'd have made it through. There's a little bit of air pocket in this fish. Then the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah up onto the dry land. Now, if you listen to J. Vernon McGee on Jonah, and that's all of chapter 2, by the way, but if you listen to J. Vernon McGee, he does an amazing study on this, that hundreds of people have reported the following. And Patty, to your comment here, they have reported the following: dogs being swallowed and vomited back up alive by various whales. Alive, not just unconscious, but alive, tails a wagging and all fine. Men being swallowed up, vomited back up, unconscious, and revived out of a whale or a fish. So yes, Kelly, people as well. So this has happened. And yeah, RF, the guy, do y'all remember the posting? I'm glad RF remember that. Do you remember the posting of the kayaker? The kayaker, now he didn't spend 3 days, but the kayaker got swallowed up with his doggone phone and all his gear, and then got spewed back up. I don't know, what was it, 15, 20 minutes later. Can the Lord accomplish this in this whale for 3 days? No sweat. No sweat. Now, a lot of scientists believe that Jonah went unconscious, and they have found men unconscious for multiple days inside of whales. Is this possible for the Lord? No sweat. No sweat. If he can part the Red Sea, if he can knock down Jericho's walls with trumpets, no problem. No problem. The Lord can raise him back up. And the Lord can do 100 thousands times more. So what do we learn from this? We learn again that the Lord's strength is miraculous and well beyond all this. But we also learn that when the Lord specifically asks you to do something, yeah, Diane, actually, that's what J. Vernon McGee was talking about. There's been multiple accounts in the 1800s, 1900s. A couple were of men that were lost at sea from whalers and old fisher ships, and they were in the belly of these whales and mammalian fishes for days and days and days. And you're right, their skin was bleached from the acid of the fish. So when Jonah goes in to preach, what is he doing? His skin is bleached. And then what does Nineveh have? I think Nineveh was around 740 BC. Well, around I think it's 741 or 742 BC. Around 742 BC, Nineveh had a massive solar eclipse pass over. So consider, and especially in that time, solar eclipses, they were very superstitious of solar eclipses. So Nineveh was ready to convert. They see this guy coming in that is bleached and a very dark skin tone, at least Arabic, maybe almost an African American skin tone that is bleached. So could be part bleached, part dark toned, coming in, haggard looking, I mean totally beat up, coming in to talk to them. And he's got scrolls coming in to talk to them and is not happy. And a solar eclipse had just passed over. Yeah, I'd listen. I'd listen to this guy. They'd be like, oh, what did we do wrong? And he's angry. Yeah, I would all bust up. I would listen. I would really, really listen. Paige says, my math teacher in middle school told the class his brother had been swallowed up and his shin was burned by the acid on the whale. Yeah, there's multiple accounts of folks. And so think about blues as well. There's a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest along our West Coast that have been swallowed up by blues. Okay, this is not uncommon. Oh, shin. Yeah, skin was burned. Sorry, Paige. The skin was burned up by the acid of the whale. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kelly's like, just don't go in the water. I think about it a lot of time, and I didn't, but I did a lot of snorkeling when I was younger with my wife. And I'm thinking, what were we doing out there with the sea turtles? Because that also means that there's predators out there. Anyway, it's stuff you do when you're young. Anyway, go out there and swim. Go out there and swim all you want. But then there's things that eat you as well. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff that eats you too. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break because I need to take a pit stop. I'm full of coffee. Is there something wrong with my mic? Can y'all not hear me? Can you hear me okay, Chooch? We're just getting ready to get into the Chooch top 10. Can you hear me, Kelly? You got me? Okay, Kelly's got me. Chooch, you got me? Okay, good. I've got the puck. Okay, somebody says it's choppy. Okay, sound fine, says Kel. Got some. Chooch has got. All right, might be you, Chooch. Crackling a tiny bit. It's just a little scratchy. Well, that's weird. Okay, some are declaring it's fine. Others are saying a little scratchy. Okay. It's a little. Oh, it's. Huh. Oh, must be the net. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make Sorry about that, guys. Satan doesn't want us to talk about Chooch's 10. Okay, so I'm going to take I'm gonna take a quick pit stop. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Chooch's 10, and Chooch is going to give us commentary as we go. So I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes to talk about Chooch's 10. It's safe to say that I agree to Chooch's 10. I'm excited about Chooch's 10, and I'm going to add some additional comments. And I'm really excited about 2025. So here we go. All right, let's continue a little. Now you hear scratching. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can turn it up a little bit. Let me see. Cracking on you too. All right, I can do a few things here. You see?